I want the money to be left over. And I'm also making it a lot easier to buy a thing called a house, the American dream. Last week, I signed an executive order to ban Wall Street and large institutional investors from buying up all the single-family homes in America. Because we don't want America to become a nation of renters, and that's what they forced happen. I mean, you have these companies, they own 5,000 houses, 20,000. One has hundreds of thousands of houses. We don't want that. We want people to be able to buy houses. At the same time, I want to keep the value of the house very high of those people who already own a house. We're not forgetting about them because they don't necessarily match those two things. You know, we get the prices down. Well, what does that do? Very important to me, more important to me, is, you know, people have become rich by owning their home. We're going to keep them nice and rich. Is that okay? You know, nobody, I'll bet you've never heard that before, right? But people own a home, and for the first time, their home, it's a certain, we're not going to bring that price down. I want to say, let them be rich. But we're strengthening Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that you've heard about. And in the last 12 months, those institutions have supported over 22,000 Iowa families in purchasing or refinancing and saved over 3,000 Iowa families from losing their homes. We've come out and really helped a lot of people keep your home. And despite a bad Fed chairman, a guy that has no, we call him too late. He's too late. Jerome Too Late Powell, he's too late. He wasn't too late before the Democrats won the election, then he was too early. But he wants to keep rates as high as possible. Despite that, we've driven rates down. You know, when you're really good, you can get them down despite everything.
This dude having a hard time staying awake.
It just sort of follows nature. Mortgage interest rates are now at the lowest level in 3 years, and new mortgage applications are up 30%. By the way, well, we have a great Fed chairman. I think we're going to have one. I'll announce it pretty soon. You'll see rates come down a lot. And refinancings are up 100% compared to the end of the Biden term. Up 100%. We're also working tirelessly to bring back a thing called law and order. You know, there was a time. So there was a time that you weren't allowed to use the words law and order. I like that guy. You weren't allowed to use the term law and order. You weren't allowed to use the term Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody, right? Remember that 2016? I ran on.
That's not Law and Order has been on TV for like 30 fucking years.
But we brought that back. But law and order, we need law and order. And
but you couldn't say law and order.
Right now in the history of our country. That's good. But we'll do it.
You couldn't say Merry Christmas.
And as everyone is aware, we've totally and completely closed the southern border with little fanfare, but tremendous success. Where the southern border is closed, nobody's coming in. That's right. Nobody is able to come into our country except for those that come in legally. We want to have people come in legally. We need people to come in legally, but they have to show that they can love our country, not hate our country. They have to show that they're not going to blow up our shopping centers.
Jippo, amen on that.
Kill people. They're coming in legally, but they cannot come in unless they come in legally into our country, and we're letting some great people come in. They have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan, Omar. Did you see that wise guy? You know, she's always talking about the Constitution provides me with the following. You know, the Constitution, she comes from a country.
Ragnitz, he even said if I get elected and made campaign promises, okay, it's very weird.
I don't think it does. They're good at one thing, pirates. But they don't do that anymore. You know why? Because they get the same.
Ouch, my freedoms, the stream crashed.
Get. Boom, boom.
I lost the internet for a second. I think it starts a whole new stream, too, so I'm sorry about that, guys.
I don't care what ship they're attacking. When they attack, when we see them going in, ping, that's the end of it. It's amazing. You know, I don't know if you know, drugs coming in by water is down 97%. And we're trying
Oh, really, Holiday? No, there was another cop show.
Because we consider them the bravest people in the world.
And then Law and Order was like the replacement for that cop show.
But it's down 97%.
Hill Street Blues.
Down on the land. The land is much
right. I might have the channels wrong.
The sea first, but the sea is done. We haven't exactly helped the luxury fishing business, I would say. Would you like to go fishing? No, thank you. I'd rather. Let's go deep sea fishing today. Let's go on a little boat deep sea fishing. Sorry about that. But it's down 97%. We've done a job. I'll tell you, we've made our country respected again.
He's using that Steiner math again.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning.
The greatest military. We have the greatest military in the world. You know, I rebuilt our military in our first term. And we have the greatest military in the world. So you read much about Minnesota, where, unbeknownst to the public, we have brought down crime very substantially in Minnesota. We've taken out thousands of hard criminals, hardened, vicious,
I need more drugs.
Criminals. You don't read about things like Washington, D.C., where there is virtually no crime, and it was horrible a year and a half ago. Memphis, Tennessee, which was a real disaster, and now it's down. Crime has dropped by 78%.
Maybe it was Memphis.
New Orleans, Louisiana. I was asked by the governor of Louisiana to help them with New Orleans. It was a disaster, and crime is down 54% in about...
Not a one of you thought you'd be hearing Pam Tillis on my stream.
And we've done all of this by taking thousands of criminals out of these states. We took
I think that's Pam Tillis.
People out of Washington, D.C. These were criminals. You know, if you remember, about 2% of the population, it's a very simple business. 2% of the population.
Oh my God, he's back to the Steiner math.
2% of the crime. So when you start decimating that 2%, boom, that's why we have the, it's an amazing number when you think. It's just crime over and over and over. 2% creates 90% of the crime. Isn't that amazing? Not that complicated, is it? In 1 year, we've achieved the largest drop in the murder rate in the history of our country. Drug overdose.
It works 100% of the time, 70% of the time.
Largest drop ever recorded. We got to do better than that. And I've designated the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Big deal. And despite the strong efforts of the fake news media, we are starting to see the historic success reflected in tremendous polls. We have great polls. In last week's Rasmussen poll, we're leading
60. I'm sorry, I've not seen. Is it Anchorman that it comes from?
Among Hispanic voters. You know, Hispanic voters don't want crime. People don't realize that. Hispanic voters want strong borders because they know what's coming in and they don't want them.
I just watched it for the first time the other day.
Great in the election with Hispanic voters. We did so great with black.
It wasn't good.
We did so great with white.
I did not like it.
In yesterday's RMG poll,
he's in Iowa, which means, you know, that's where
deportation policies by a margin of 10%.
Usually candidates would go to campaign for president right now. It's a lot of 2028 hopefuls have been in Iowa the last few months.
Hates our country. In a recent Harvard-Harris poll found that 80% of Americans support our unprecedented operation to deport criminal aliens. In other words, 80%, that's more like it, of the people support our operation to remove really dangerous, bad people out of our country.
I am all for moving dangerous, bad people out of our country. Let's start with you.
A Reuters poll that just came out.
Do I want to get rid of rapists and murderers? Yes. I want to get rid of you.
By a lot, and the crime, they're leading by a real lot, by almost 20 points. And in real clear politics average net approval, the Republican Party is more than 10 points more popular than Democrats. And I don't even understand that. How can 10 points is considered a lot? But
I don't understand it, but they're both like fucking abysmal numbers. The Democrats are like 10%, and the Republicans are like 20%.
I'm telling you, if Kamala won, or any of them, I think Gavin Newsom is worse because, he's destroyed California. If they win, that group, that ideology wins, you will be Venezuela on steroids. And I've said it for years.
Good night, Jippo.
And you know what? They will destroy our country. The country would have been destroyed already. We're fully rebuilding the U.S. military with more than $1 trillion we're spending on the military.
Virgil, Walmart is closing 250 stores in California because they overextended themselves.
And in June, we
and people don't shop at fucking
Iran's
Walmart anymore.
Nuclear capacity in Operation Midnight.
They built all these Walmart stores in the 2000s when they thought they'd have never-ending growth, and now everybody goes to Amazon and gets all their shit delivered. So Walmart stores, brick and mortar, are going out of business.
Nuclear weapon, we had to do it. And by the way, there's another beautiful armada.
Like, use your brain, people.
Toward Iran right now. So we'll see.
You'd be like, well, why is it 250 in California? Because California's a large fucking state.
They should have made a deal the first time.
And probably has a higher clientele that had already switched over to Target and other methods of retail long ago.
Dictator Nicolas Maduro to face American justice.
We are about 4 minutes away from 4:20 in the Mountain Time Zone.
Lethal, quick. They've never seen violent operations ever seen, military operations ever seen. Nobody was killed, not on their side. A lot of people, unfortunately, I have to say a lot. We went into a very big, powerful military base with a group of unbelievable, talented, patriotic people that love our country. You couldn't hold them back.
I don't think you know what socialism is.
You know, the weather was off for 3 nights.
Do you think California, which has one of the largest economies in the world,
The next night it was
the 5th largest economy in the world, is socialist?
Sir, they're ready to go.
You're an
Sir,
idiot.
they're okay.
I don't know what to tell
I
you.
said, but the weather's a little bad. I said, sir, they're ready to go. I said, God bless you, generals. And boy, did they do a job.
510 yay, love it, love it.
Joe Biden and his
We're gonna
allies
spark it up for 420.
in Congress did everything they could to destroy our country, but they failed. And today, after just 1 year since my second inauguration, you know, we have a new hat. It's called America is Back. America is back. Our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is stopped. Incomes are up.
Okay, if you're saying we love
Prices are
Trump,
down.
you're a cuck.
Our economy is roaring. Our workers are thriving.
No, I don't want to insult
Country's
cucks like
winning
that.
again, winning like never before. We've never had a period of time like this. You've never had a period of time. I just left a great group of people from Iowa, and half of them were crying as they talked to me. I don't think they were crying because I'm doing a bad job. In theory, you
They're-
do a bad. They were crying.
They're crying because you touched their kid.
Sir, they said, sir, you've brought our country back. Crying, crying. One woman was fantastic. She grabbed me and she put her head right there, and her tears are pouring all over my beautiful suit. I figured I'd get it.
Ass hoke.
And
I'm an ass hoke.
There's a lot of makeup all over. I said, what the hell am I going to do? I got to get myself in trouble. No, but she was crying, and I said, don't cry. Be happy. Be happy. With the help of the incredible people of Iowa, we're repairing 4 long years of disaster and decline, and we're
Yeah, I didn't mean to kink shame. I'm
the
sorry.
greatest years in the history of our country. I believe.
Cucking is not near as embarrassing as what Trump supporters are doing.
We are entering a period that will be called the golden age of America. That's what's happening. So together with all of you, and you were with me
About
from
45
the beginning,
seconds
all
until
3
420.
times we won by a lot. I don't know if you remember, but before I got involved, this was really a Democrat state. You know that. I don't want to bring it up. And then I came along,
Obama won Iowa.
Democrat very long, and our great chairman did such
30
a
seconds.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you could do anything.
My brain has gone ass
Come to
whoa.
Washington. Come to Washington, take any position.
Spelled asshole
But
wrong.
you
As
just
she's
don't
telling me
wanna
my
leave.
brain is gone. I
think you just
love
wanna
it.
stay
I
in Iowa.
fucking
I don't
love
blame
this.
you.
15
But
seconds.
You are fantastic. But we've won.
We'll do the countdown. Come right back to
by a
Trump.
lot. But this used to, until we came along, this used to be a Democrat state, and then we turned it. Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? He won both times, didn't he win both? He won twice, you know. Barack Hussein Obama, wonderful president. Really brought people together, didn't he? But Barack Obama won twice, you know. And so everyone said, well, Iowa, you know, they had this down as not winnable. And we won in a landslide. 3 times we won in a landslide. So. together with all of you, the citizens from all across this incredible, beautiful land.
Happy 420 to everybody in the Mountain Time Zone.
We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. That's happening. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America.
Laura, good to see you, my friend.
And most importantly,
Johnny's here.
We'll make America
You're a good man.
Great again. Thank you, Iowa. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this was shorter than I thought it would be. Was not expecting it to go less than an hour. You want to hear the bubbler again? I can do it. Thank you. Thank you for the subscription. That one got me. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, YMCA is playing right now. I had to turn it down. Is Trump a treasonous piece of trash? Yes, absolutely. He was doing the double dick there. Okay. We've had a lot of right-wingers in the chat. If anybody would like to have the opportunity to call in and talk to me, you absolutely can. You guys seem to have a lot to say. The number is 917-830-4359. It is on your screen. I'll do my best to go through and... Oh, it only works when I'm on Restream. I have the Restream chat fucked up. That is the phone number. The phone number in Discord. Yeah. Phone number in Discord. If you get in the Discord, you gotta tell me. You gotta let me know you're in the Discord. Two-time president, full-time loser. Indeed. So if you'd like to call in, I'll have a respectful conversation with you. Top Banana, would you like to talk to me? I would love to know what goes through your guys' minds. How can you support a certified pedophile, certified con man? Omar giving a speech at 7 p.m. Okay, we might take that. Audrey, welcome in. Mr. Coy. Mr. Corey? You relax, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Skylar, hey man, what is that shit? Are you asking what kind of weed I'm smoking? It was kind of a mix. I had a bunch of different shit on my tray. I had dark cherry, super sour runts, and I had some Sun Rocks. Ice operations in Minnesota are continuing as usual. Oh, by the way, we have a report that Border Patrol shot someone in Arizona. We don't know a lot of details yet. So we were covering it last night. Border Patrol now moving on from Minnesota to
about some of the ICE operations that are happening in
Arizona, and then apparently Milwaukee.
Press putting this down a few moments ago. This is there saying that a person is now in critical condition after a shooting involved Border Patrol near the U.S.-Mexico border, according to those Arizona officials. Thank you so much to my producers for bringing me the very latest. I have something I want to read to you here from the Associated Press. saying they're
Okay, let me get a newer version of this because I had that pulled up from before we did the Trump. This is the latest out of KVOA in Tucson.
That a shooting this morning in Aravaca involved a Border Patrol officer. Thanks for joining us. I'm Robbie Reynolds. We continue to follow this breaking story here. The shooting happened at milepost 15 on West Aravaca Road around 7 this morning. News 4 Tucson, Monica Garcia is on the scene right now.
Yeah, Sunrocks is a more exotic version of Moon
All right,
Rocks.
hey there, Robbie. It's still a developing scene, very much a developing scene, but take a look behind me. We have a lot of law enforcement out here, and I have the PIO for Pima County Sheriff's Department, Angelica Carrillo, who's getting ready to give us an update. So, Angelica, go ahead.
Hi, obviously this is a very preliminary and
Shit. So somehow the browser crashed on, and that's never happened to me before. It's the same browser
We're
I use
now
every
learning
night.
that a shooting this morning in
our assistance in an investigation. We are working to get some more details for you and exactly, how this started, what happened, that sort of thing. But at this point right now, I know that you guys have a lot of questions. But I can't give you that information right now.
Okay, but we can confirm it did involve a Border Patrol agent this morning around 7 a.m. And do we know who this individual was? Were they an undocumented, a citizen?
Yeah, that's all part of the investigation. I'm still working to get some information in terms of the time that this happened, but what I can tell you is that it did happen today and that this is a U.S. Border Patrol agent involved in a shooting and that the investigation is going to involve the FBI, which is typical anytime a federal agency is involved, and then the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, Angelica, thank you for that. All right, so let's move over this way. So what Angelica has just been telling us is the news that we've been breaking all morning long. Around 7 a.m., Border Patrol, as we just learned, NBC News also confirming that someone was shot out here. This is Aravaca, and if you don't know where Aravaca is, it's about an hour southeast of Tucson. Okay, so around 7 o'clock this morning, an individual was shot. We don't know if it was a man or a woman. We don't know if they were undocumented. We don't know if they were a U.S. citizen, but they were shot this way. So this is the closest we can get to that location. I'm going to have Ben, our photographer, pan to the right. So we can see several vehicles if we zoom in really far towards the mountain, but I can tell you they're about half a mile that way, and that's where that shooting took place. And we're told it's a rugged terrain area, so we can't get there by car. You have to get there by 4x4. So we've had a rancher and different folks drive by. They have told me we're about 20 miles to give you an idea of 20 miles north of the border. So they say it's not uncommon for undocumented immigrants to pass through this area. They said prior to the Trump administration that there were a lot more undocumented immigrants out here on foot. He says as of recent immigration crackdowns, he hasn't seen that many, but of course we don't know who this individual was. All we know is that someone was shot. They're in critical condition, that in fact a helicopter had to come out
CJ Muscleman,
fly them out to the nearest
DP.
hospital. So we are still waiting for more information.
Highlander.
I can tell you that we have Pima County Sheriff's Department out here on the scene. She said that they're assisting FBI, and we also have some spectators. They appear to be protesters.
Pineapple
They're not
juicy.
saying anything right now, but a group of spectators have also arrived. I'd say about 6 of them in several different vehicles. So of course we're going to be out here throughout the afternoon, and we're going to get briefed on more information. We will bring that to you on air and across our social media platforms. Back to you. Get briefed on more information.
I hate to do it.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
I didn't hate to do it. I lied. Cancel Justin. Apparently 2 cops fired their weapons in the death of Alex Preddy. We're now learning new details. This is from CNN within the last hour.
Now learning that 2 officers fired during that fatal encounter with Alex Preddy this past Saturday, according to an initial report to Congress from the Department of Homeland Security and reviewed by CNN, a report that also says that they attempted to take him into custody. So let me walk you through this. This is the report from Customs and Border Protection's initial investigation into the shooting of Preddy. It says
Never
that an
attempted to
officer
take him into
yelled, quote,
custody.
"He's got a gun" multiple times before 2 officers fired as that struggle ensued that we have seen in videos. And I'm going to quote here from the report. It says, quote, CBP personnel attempted to take Preddy into custody. Preddy resisted CBP personnel's efforts and a struggle ensued. It goes on to say, quote, during the struggle, a Border Patrol agent yelled, "He's got a gun," multiple times. Approximately 5 seconds later, a Border Patrol agent discharged his CBP-issued Glock 19, and a Customs and Border Protection officer also discharged his CBP-issued Glock 47 at Preddy. What it does not specifically say is whether the bullets fired from these law enforcement officers hit Preddy. Now, it also gives us a little bit about what happened afterwards. This report, again, provided to lawmakers as after the shooting, and I'm quoting here, a Border Patrol agent advised he had possession of Preddy's firearm. The BPA subsequently cleared and secured that firearm in his vehicle. Goes on to say that the personnel, quote, cut Preddy's clothing and provided medical aid to him by placing chest seals on his wounds. Now, of course, Jake, as you know, there would be an internal review, and we're getting some of it within the Customs and Border Protection Agency. Those were the officers involved in this shooting. The Department of Homeland Security is leading the investigation, the FBI in a supportive role, but we are now learning new details in this initial report from the Department of Homeland Security that went to Congress. But of course, this is still an ongoing investigation. Jake?
CNN is also now learning that about a week before.
So anyone in the chat that is like, ooh, CNN, no, we do all news sources. I'm going to take you directly to Congress. If it's from a congressperson, usually when we're watching a news report, it's because there is reporting that is interesting, and you should not tune it out. You should take in all sources. I don't know what to tell you. Usually when we're watching CNN, it'll be an interview with somebody and we're hearing directly from a source, an official source. How is the guy a dumbass? I don't get it. Oh, and there's other, like, allow me to address Simon, my friend. You bring up a random case of a person who wasn't here legally killing a U.S. citizen. That is a false equivalency. The person who killed someone was arrested, prosecuted, tried, and convicted. There's nothing to be upset about. The person who killed Alex Preddy did it as a matter of policy by the state and is being shielded by the state. So that makes it an issue for us as citizens. A random act of violence that law enforcement did their job and arrested the person isn't of any concern to me. Justice was served. So why should I be upset about some random act of violence? That is a logical fallacy. You're using it as a red herring. And it's completely emotive. Like, oh, look at this other person who was killed over there, as if we're supposed to ignore the horrors inflicted on us by our government. Once again, 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord. Hold on, let me get you the... Put it in chat. I'd love to hear from some of you guys. Explain it to me. I would love to hear your perspective. 917-830-4359. Or you can hop in the Discord. Joel. Citizens commit far more crimes than anyone here illegally, because people that are here illegally tend to keep a low profile because they're here illegally. Citizens just run around with their cocks out. he didn't do anything to interfere or impede agents. Just being on the sidewalk is not interfering or impeding anything. It's not recording is not impeding or interfering with anything. Helping a woman up that was assaulted by ICE agents is not impeding or interfering with anything. He was assaulted unconstitutionally by our government, and that should be of concern to you, and you should stop trying to make up excuses for why he deserved to be murdered. You're a horrible person. 100%. Tom Homan going into Minneapolis. Apparently, Greg Bovino has lost his job and been locked out of his social media accounts. Homan met with Tim Walz earlier today.
Confirming what has been reported here that Greg Bovino, the Border Patrol Commander at Large, who's been very visible presence in Minnesota with this surge, is on his way out of the state, demoted from his role to return to his former job in California. And Tom Homan, the border czar, coming in to be the point person on the ground, and Karen Scullin's trying to follow this day. And these are the moves that are happening that are kind of hard to see exactly, you know, the concrete
macaroni. I'm not gay. I'm
some of this information is difficult to parse out too, about timelines and etc.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he met with the governor this morning.
Tom Homan.
Yeah, Tom Homan met with the governor this morning, and it sounds like maybe Fry not till later today, or maybe about right now. It's unclear, but the governor.
Yeah, usually here they would be under investigation too.
About their conversation, just saying that Governor Walz reiterated Minnesota's
Reuben, welcome in, my friend.
3 of them: impartial investigation into the Minneapolis shootings.
Us who believe in the rule of law are horrified.
A swift, significant reduction in the number of federal forces in Minnesota, and an end to the campaign of retribution against Minnesota.
So those are sort of the 3 points that the governor's office is stressing that they made to Tom Homan.
Right. But, you know, we haven't heard yet from DHS, from Tom Homan. I'm sure there are some demands on his side as well, and we have yet to hear from them. I have reached out for comment, but we have yet to hear from them on their end. I think their biggest ask, though, just over the last few days, is getting into the jails. They want to get into these jails, and they want Minnesota to honor the detainers, those who are arrested and convicted in the jails.
And I think there's been sort of different, maybe perhaps, interpretations.
You sound like a dumb fuck, Jeff.
Honoring detainers mean. The Department of Corrections and some jails, some sheriff's office say we do honor the detainers, in that when they request that they want this inmate, we let them know when they'll be released from our custody.
Right.
I think historically the detainers have been more like a hold, meaning sometimes those requests are hold them longer.
U.S. history, welcome in.
Get there, which the prisons and the jails don't want to do, because they say that's a constitutional violation of unlawful seizure. So that's kind of hard to parse out too.
It is. I mean, there's also this this thing about a timeline. I think sometimes DHS or ICE is not notified except for maybe 30 minutes before the release, and they can't get there in time. So I think they're also just saying, just hold them until we can get there kind of thing, mostly because of a time constraint. They just can't get there fast enough kind of thing. And there's quite a few in the county jails. I think it's been cleared up at this point that the prisons are doing what they are supposed to be doing, according to.
And it's easier for the prisons because they know well ahead of time when somebody's sentence is up or their probation begins, etc., when they'll be released.
Right.
Like in 3 weeks from now. Whereas in the county jail, it all depends on when that person appears before a judge and sets bail, or etc., and then that can happen pretty quickly. So that's where, specifically, I think where ICE would prefer that they hold them longer. And I think sheriffs, based on some other court rulings in Minnesota, are hesitant to do that. Hennepin County is the other kind of thing here, is that jail will not notify ICE.
Right.
When the release is happening. ICE basically has to keep an eye on that and be there.
Right.
And I think that's also part of the contention here, where the ICE folks say, please let us know for that one. I mean, I think that's where, and that has all been sort of conflated together to say the state doesn't tell us, when it's much more nuanced than that.
Right, and again, I think the focus is more the county jails. Minneapolis being a sanctuary city, they don't ask legal status when they arrest somebody, although it's probably pretty obvious if they're running their information whether they're legal or not, but they don't ask it, and so therefore they sort of just ignore it altogether. And I think ICE is asking them, don't do that. Let us know. But one of the things interesting in the governor's statement, what they're asking tasking the Department of Public Safety here to be the liaison between the state and Tom Homan, now that Homan has kind of taken over the situation. I've asked DPS what exactly that means, how does that play out, how will that work? They're going to get back to me with sort of what they can say, and maybe they don't even know yet. You know,
it's possible they're still working out the details of that partnership.
I love somebody saying that Dems are the parties of the party of criminals when they literally elected a convicted felon president.
So they would work then with the federal agencies.
The cognitive dissonance is insane.
Whatever that coordination is in terms of working together on an investigation. I think there is now more willingness from the federal government.
Jeff, you seem to have a lot to say. Would you like to talk to me? The phone number is on the screen. I will also drop it in the chat, 917-830-4359. You can have Tom Homan, Roy. Well, we are happy to export our Nazi to you if you so want. I don't know why you would want him, but hey, go for it, pal. If anybody would like to call in, 917-830-4359. Explain to me why you would want Tom Homan. Explain to me why you think I'm delusional, David Kiley. Explain to me why you think I'm delusional. I'm happy to have a reasonable, rational, calm conversation with anybody. Purity of essence. I love your name. Mud Puppy, welcome in. Apparently, Kristi Noem is in hot water with the Trump administration. I'm going to pull some C-SPAN up for us, and we're going to watch Ilhan Omar here at the top of the hour. A Nazi is an authoritarian ethno-nationalist. Right-wingers never know what Nazis are, and then accuse me of not knowing what a Nazi is. Jesus Christ, people.
Mr. President, the Senate gavels into session with the conscience of this nation shaken to its core. Last Saturday, in the Eat Street district of Minneapolis, 37-year-old Alex Preddy was shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent after he was trying to help a woman thrown to the ground by federal officers. The many videos of Alex's death circulating online are grisly, they're horrifying. They appear to show Alex was shot 10 times in less than 5 seconds. They show he held nothing more than a cell phone in his hand. If we trust our own eyes and ears instead of Trump administration propaganda, it's pretty clear that Alex was murdered in broad daylight. The grief and anger his parents must feel right now must be staggering. He was a decent young man, an intensive care nurse at the VA who dedicated his life to helping others. In fact, the morning after Alex Preddy was killed, I was at a doctor's appointment, and as it turned out, my doctor's assistant was from Minneapolis. She knew Alex Preddy. She said he was just the kindest, gentlest soul you'd ever meet. Not a bad bone in his body. Alex Preddy did not deserve to die. Nor did Renee Good deserve to die 2 weeks ago, shot in her own car mere minutes after dropping her kid off at school. Enough is enough. And that's what America is saying.
He's going to write a letter.
From one end of this country to the other. What ICE and CPP are doing in Minneapolis and other cities around the country is not border security and certainly not law and order. What ICE is doing is lawless disorder. What ICE is doing is state-sanctioned thuggery, and it must be stopped. ICE must leave Minnesota today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. There are reports that the president is thinking about a reduction in force. A reduction isn't good enough. President Trump should act now to completely withdraw ICE and immediately turn down the temperature. Americans support law enforcement. Americans support common sense border security, but America does not support ICE.
The fuck we do.
Our communities.
Fuck the police. You don't speak for me, Chucky boy.
Look at this picture. This is the kind of picture we're seeing more and more in American cities when ICE descends upon them. Federal agents shooting at and threatening protesters. Black ICE SUVs roaming the streets and agents barging into homes without warrants. ICE encircling schools with riot gear and using kids as bait. And terrorizing our communities to the point that people are afraid to go to work, to church, shop for groceries. This
groceries.
This terror must stop. The American people, Democrat, Republican, Independent, demand that the chaos and lawless
American patriot with this weird Crusades profile pic. If an officer fears for his/her life, that will respond accordingly. Please read your Constitution. You're not a patriot at all.
Of ICE be severely reined in. This week, the Senate will step into the breach. In a few days, the Senate will consider a package of 6 funding bills sent to us recently by the House, and 5 of those bills are ready to go and should quickly pass. I'll say more about that.
Yeah, not a single ICE agent has ever been in danger.
ICE's abuses and the administration's recklessness, the Senate must not pass the DHS
Trump is a lying pedophile.
Is currently written and must be.
Chuck Schumer is an ineffective piece of shit.
Rein in and overhaul ICE to ensure the public's safety. The fix should come from Congress. The public can't trust the administration to do the right thing on its own. And Republicans and Democrats work together.
Get with your DSA. If you don't have DSA, start DSA. Get with your Working Families Party.
On any legislation that funds ICE until it is reined in.
Like a Farmers Party, whatever is the strongest
overwhelming
leftist party in your local community, and run for office yourself.
ICE should meet the same basic standards of accountability and due process that any law enforcement agency is asked to meet. Now, separately, to finish the appropriations process, Leader Thun should split the funding bills and move forward with the 5 that already have broad support.
Blue-eyed Cherokee, would you like to talk to me? I would love to. How do you think I drank Kool-Aid? The fact that you elected a pedophile con man seems like Kool-Aid to me. That seems like Trump derangement syndrome. Have a conversation with me. 917-830-4359. Or you can hop in the Discord. Dave, my friend, how are Democrats? I mean, a lot of Democrats, they aren't idiots. They're ineffective. And a lot of them are bought and paid for by the same, billionaires that run the Republicans. Because the world is perfect and humans aren't I don't know what that means. Brian, welcome in, my friend. He was grabbing his holster? No, he wasn't. That's just silly. And even if he was, he was shot in the back. It would kind of be muscle memory to grab your holster. Terry, welcome in, friend. Glad to have you here. Common sense seems to be gone. You voted for Trump. So you voted for a pedophile and you think common sense is gone. I don't get it. I don't get it, my friend. Hammer of reason. Welcome in, Chris. I would like to talk to you. I would like you to call in. YouTube does seem to be an interesting place. It broke my chat on screen, it seems. We might have Ilhan Omar here at the top of the hour. We had Chuck Schumer speaking. We'll continue listening to Chucky Boy.
If Leader Thune agrees to split the bills, just as Speaker Johnson split them in the House and puts the 5 on the floor, I'm confident they will sail through the chamber, and we will have funded 96% of the federal government.
Oh, now he's doing goddamn Steiner math.
But if Leader Thune insists on holding a vote on DHS legislation that he knows will...
Oh, more fucked up, Drake. ICE has already shot somebody in Arizona.
Guarantee yet another unnecessary government shutdown this Friday, and the shutdown will be on Leader Thune's shoulders. Leader Thune's choice is very simple. Move the 5 bills that are ready and fund 96% of the government while we work to improve the DHS bill, the Homeland Security bill. Or Thune can trigger a shutdown by forcing a vote on a bill everyone knows cannot pass at this moment, the combined bill that contains DHS. The ball is in Leader Thune's court.
We want Mem Donnies, not Chuggies.
We must quickly move.
Amanda, welcome in. For the demon tears. I don't know what that means. Oh, I thought your name was Butt Plug something. It's Blue Top Guitar. I am so sorry.
The heads of ICE,
I'm tired of Nazi Trump and
CBP,
corporate Democrats too, friend.
USCIS
You're in the right place.
should all testify before the Senate as soon as possible. We must not wait for hearings weeks from now. The American people demand truth and accountability right now. I'm glad that Republicans like Senator Paul have said likewise. But we must also be candid. It is bone-chilling that in the aftermath,
you must always have candy.
Some of the Trump administration's top officials have chosen to blatantly lie to the American people like full-fledged authoritarians. Stephen Miller raced to Twitter to call Alex Preddy a would-be assassin who tried to murder federal law enforcement. If you'd watched the videos of the killing, you'd know this is an outlandish and shocking and totally dishonest, despicable thing to say. Meanwhile, Gregory Bravino, Donald Trump's top Border Patrol officer, also claimed, without a shred of evidence, that Preddy wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. And then, of course, there's Kristi Noem. Merely hours after Preddy's death, Noem claimed again, without so much as a morsel of evidence, that he had committed an act of domestic terrorism and wanted to perpetrate violence. You know what the reaction of these
I shouldn't have done the Jewish. That was wrong.
When something terrible happens, to lie.
Cancel Justin.
That's their immediate reaction, not to find the truth, not to express any sympathy to those who are dead, but to lie, lie, lie. It's despicable. It's so un-American. It's so different than what we have seen in so many previous administrations. Lies, all of it, just blatant, sickening lies.
Damn lies.
And that is what these administration officials almost automatically turn to when there's difficulty and there's trouble. Kristi Noem is a liar. She's
Dog
vicious.
football, I have no
She's
idea
also
what you're talking
incompetent.
about.
Donald Trump must fire her at once before another American
All that
is
sounds
killed
like
under her
just
watch.
made up right-wing bullshit.
So I'll say it again. It's bone-chilling that Donald Trump's goons will so eagerly and almost lazily lie right to the public's face. Right to the public's face. And where is the accountability from Donald Trump? He said nothing to call out the nastiness and lies from Noam and Miller. It seems he almost prefers to have serial liars in his administration than honest people. The kind of dishonesty we see from Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller is the bread and butter of authoritarian regimes. And it's dangerous, dangerous territory for our country. When a government tells its people, ignore what your eyes see and forget what your ears hear, just listen to us instead, then for all practical purposes, it's not trying to act like a government in a democracy. This is how dictatorships operate, and we're seeing the signs right in front of us here in America. The right answer, of course, is to meet the lies with truth. Here in the Senate, the American people deserve to hear that truth under oath when Kristi Noem.
Well, don't ban anybody that's not breaking any rules, DJ Dub. I want to grow.
Across America, the people must keep defending the truth. They should keep showing up lawfully and documenting abuses by ICE. They must continue to protest peacefully and nonviolently, to exercise their rights to free speech and free assembly, to protect their community.
Start throwing around slurs and go for it.
Of this thuggish government. It may feel to many like the flame of democracy is flickering into extinction before our eyes and that there's no way to fight back. That is wrong. The good people of Minneapolis.
Well, I mean, are you going to fight back?
Around the country.
You're going to step aside.
Answer to authoritarianism. Hold firm, tell the truth, look out for one another, organize, protest. And when the time comes, exercise your greatest power of all. Go to the ballot box and vote. Vote. And vote out the liars.
Vote harder.
I yield the floor.
Vote harder was Chucky Schumer's. Oh, God, we're doomed. Jeffries says that Democrats are going to push to impeach Kristi Noem if Trump does not fire her, which apparently Trump is planning on firing her anyway.
Thank you for having me on.
So, hey,
Kristi Noem
great.
is a despicable, corrupt, pathological liar. We've seen her slander not just one, but two American citizens, patriotic Americans who were killed without justification on the streets of Minneapolis in the last few weeks. She's deeply unqualified. She never should have been confirmed to begin with by Senate Republicans.
But she can be my GOP mommy.
Have called for her to be fired immediately. And in the event that she is not terminated, we are prepared to initiate impeachment proceedings against her in the House of Representatives.
Well, the president has given no indication that he's ready to fire her or even thinking about it. And you, as I don't need to tell you, are in the minority. So how do you do that? I mean, what can you do? Have you spoken to the speaker? Do you have any sense that there are Republicans who would stand by you in an impeachment process?
We have to build the case so that we can convince a handful of Republicans, as we have done on other issues, that the time is now to hold the Department of Homeland Security accountable for their behavior. They are conducting themselves like a paramilitary organization, as opposed to protecting the health, the safety, and the well-being of the American people. They are violently targeting American
I'm not a big fan of
law-abiding
Jeffries.
immigrant families, and it's unacceptable, it's unconscionable, and it's
Maggots have indeed swallowed the whole boot. We got Ilhan Omar coming up. She's holding a town hall at the top of the hour.
To make sure that Kristi Noem is held accountable, but even more importantly, of course, we support the effort by Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats to force common sense changes to the Department of Homeland Security so that these law enforcement agencies are behaving like every other law enforcement agency in the country, as opposed to like a paramilitary organization, which is what the American people have seen on the streets of Minneapolis.
Are there conversations going on with Republicans to make that happen? Do you see any reasonable expectation that the government is not going to shut down at the end of the week?
What has been
Well, I think Democrats are going to cave.
Democrats, which is something that we, of course, strongly support, is that there are bipartisan bills related to other aspects of the government that should move forward to avoid an extended shutdown in other areas. The issue before us is making sure that ICE, of course, is brought under control in ways that taxpayer dollars are not being spent to kill American citizens or brutalize everyday Americans. We know taxpayer dollars should actually be spent to make life more affordable for the American people. It's shocking to me that over a year has passed since Donald Trump was inaugurated. This guy promised.
Can't imagine a world where that's true.
On day one, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. They're ripping healthcare away from the American people. And now mass federal agents on American streets are killing American citizens in cold blood. That's all unacceptable. And we really need to make some changes to change direction here.
We need to make some changes to change direction. That's the type of tepid response we get from the leader of the House Democrats. Jeffries needs to step aside. We are going to take Ilhan Omar Town Hall. It should be starting any second
Pretty
now.
much made it clear he is going to be dictator there for life. So is he going to be here for the next 10 years? Yeah. 15, maybe 20 years? Starting to get up there in age, he'd be 92 or whatever. So he's got some time to think about this, but he really, really wants this, right? But here's the other thing he knows. If he tries this and fails, he will not get to keep his job and maybe not his life, right? As a dictator, you don't get to retire to the country, right? You get killed in office or you die in office. So he's got, that's what he's.
Let's do, this is the Illinois Democratic primary debate.
Behind it, helping our colleges train people, our junior colleges, and also our high schools to get our young people into the field faster. But again, I think there's positive things about it, and there are negative things about it that people are feeling. But also, I expect if you work in the field, those are higher paying jobs, so that's good.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Congressman Krishnamurthy.
Well, thank you. Look, artificial intelligence is only good. AI is only good if it leads to another AI, and that is amazing Illinois. How do we enhance the effectiveness and productivity of the people of Illinois? Because if it's not going to do that, then it's going to hurt.
Representative Raja
And so I believe
Krishnamurthy.
It has to be embedded within every facet of education. It has to be embedded in skills-based education and career technical education. This morning, I just came from a ribbon cutting at Schaumburg Regional Airport, where a program that I funded to the tune of $500,000 through a grant from the federal government enables people to conduct aviation maintenance. And it trains students to basically be part of a fast-growing, in-demand field. However, the tools that they are going to need to be able to conduct that aviation maintenance are generally AI-driven. And so they're going to need to be trained on these tools in order to be effective within that field. I agree that we also...
Liz Wheeler is a grifter, and you shouldn't let idiots like that
So
tell
that
you what to
means,
think,
for instance,
Brian.
making sure that people aren't somehow targeted based on who they are or how they look like.
Hoax guzzling dickweeds.
Religious, ethnic, minority immigrant with 29.
Would you like to talk to me? If you would like to tell me how Democrats are hoax guzzling dickweeds, you can call in 917-830-4359. The number is on your screen. I can drop it in the chat. It's in the title of the stream. You can hop in the Discord. I'm assuming she's asking why we're not upset about Bill Clinton, and I have a gazillion videos about Bill Clinton where I'm like, fuck Bill Clinton, put him in jail. So, just like right-wingers are like, nobody protested Obama, and like, I did. I called him President Deporting McDroneface. David Becker, I would tell you to go watch the Sorry Peel video on YouTube about the Very Fine People hoax. Because I don't know what to tell you. There's no hoax. Russian collusion was proven. You people are stupid. Drinking bleach. I don't know what you think the hoax is. Like, you people make up what you think the other side said and then prove that wrong. It's really weird.
Thing they were trying to do as far as wellness and exercise and eating properly and more preventative to keep us healthier. And I have legislation around food is medicine, so I do a lot of work, around that. As I said, I have 4,500 farms in my district, so I work a lot with my farmers, and that would be working with the farmers, getting people, especially people in low-income communities that live in food deserts. They would have
this is Representative Robin Kelly,
vegetables and fruit and things like that.
The Illinois U.S. Senate Democratic primary debate.
I can think of that they were trying to do with Americans being healthy.
David, if you've got something you'd like to say, would you like to call in and talk to me so we can actually have a conversation instead of you doing the equivalent of yelling in my chat?
Out of two sides of their mouth, but that's something I do think that, exercising, eating properly, that's a good thing.
Thank you. Congressman.
Well, he's such a stable genius, I don't know where to start. Look, this guy is absolutely taking a monkey wrench, a sledgehammer to our democracy right now. Not only that, he's doing that to the American dream. And I told you all about that previously. The one thing where I do agree with him is I think that we have to be concerned about our manufacturing workers and what's happening to them. Unfortunately, the Chinese Communist Party made it their plan to essentially make a lot more stuff than they'd ever need for their country, export the surplus to the United States and other nations at prices beneath the cost of production, dumping it on our markets, driving out their competition. Then they monopolize.
Liam Berger, welcome in.
Coerce us to do other things with their monopoly. They weaponize their monopoly. And so I do think that there is...
Ed, I am happy to explain to you all the ways that Orange Man is indeed bad.
We have to stand by our workers.
I can make a lot of arguments.
By people who do everything they can every day.
You're welcome to call in, 917-830-4359.
To educate themselves, to go to work, play by the rules, and when other countries break trade rules and create an unlevel playing field, that's unfair. Now, where I disagree with him is everything else. So levying tariffs on everything from everywhere increases the prices on everything for everyone. And that's wrong, because that hurts businesses. It hurts Miles Craft in Rockford, which is devastated by these tariffs. It hurts the farmers at Kindred Farms in Atlanta, Illinois, which I visited, because they're in the crosshairs of this trade war with China. Not to mention,
John, that's a stupid fucking question.
The increased prices.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that.
Donald Trump is not a normal president. In fact, he's not a normal person. And when I look at this,
a very stupid person. This is Juliana Stratton.
I always say that we're not just looking at the rise of fascism. We are staring it right in its face. He's terrorizing our communities. He's stomping on the Constitution. He's stomping on the rule of law.
46 MD, welcome in. Karma, I hope you're well.
And that's not even a strong enough word. We are seeing a president who is making us a laughing stock on the global